Hello. Imagine you are speculating on mineral claims and the companies who own them. Think of all the possibilities. Right now, I'd like to share one more. It's new to me, and it's pretty unique. I first met Neal Hawkins at PDAC 2018. He's a motivated seller with some great assets in this company called Silver Nickel. He has a partner, and the interview I'm sharing today is the three of us talking for the first time. The wrinkle to Silver Nickel is that all the assets are patented claims. In Arizona, that still means something. In particular, the Silver Nickel Company holds claims near urban development. Conditional on their proximity, the odds of urban development are greater. In other words, Neal could sell most of the land for real estate values. It could be worth much more, as the right claim is enough to start a new mine. If the land is sold for real estate value, then it will never be mined. Land with a patented claim in Arizona is valuable. If it has some indications of mineralization already, then so much the better. But even prospective land may be lost to urban development or preservation. As Tim Marsh said in another interview with myself, not all of Arizona needs to be a national park. Silver Nickel needs to monetize their assets now, as the founders want to fund their retirement. They may sell some land for real estate values, but they'd rather see the land stay in the mining industry. Listen in as we grapple with all these issues in an hour-long call, which goes through 3 of their many projects. I was stunned by some of them. This is a unique business idea with a lot of good sense behind it. It may not be typical for most in the junior mining business, but I think a portfolio of patented claims in Arizona is the start of a great story. Listen in on our conversation starting now.
Hello, testing 1 2 3. Can you hear me?
I'm here. How you doing, Peter?
Very good, thanks. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you just fine.
Great.
I called John. He should be with us any second now.
Hello.
John, you on?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we're all set. Go ahead.
Oh,
Wonderful.
okay.
Hello, guys. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for calling, Peter. Well, how do you want to do this? Do you want to go over the projects or talk about the potential or what can we do to answer here?
Yeah, so I've got the PDF that you sent with Silver
Okay.
Nickel. You know, they think the things are too small and they don't like, some of the real estate valuation metrics or whatever like that. So we got a tough job to convince them of anything here.
Okay. Well, we mentioned the thing about the real estate, just because to let everybody know that this is one way that we've been able to survive. That we buy things primarily for the minerals, but we make sure that if that doesn't pan out, we're not going to take a loss. I don't know if they don't like the fact that it is kind of strange to me that they don't like the fact that the real estate is valuable along with the minerals.
Yeah, if I can enter in, okay.
Sure.
If these were unpatented mining claims, for example, they would be the same price that we're offering them for. See, there's a big difference. Unpatented mining claims are claims that where you only have rights that federal government gives you to the mineral rights. You have nothing else other than that. You can't use the surface or you can't keep people off of it. But in our property, we have the patented mining claims, which we're valuing at the same price as if they were unpatented mining claims.
Yeah.
So how that would bother somebody, I find it somewhat difficult to take.
No, they like the patented. I'm sure that they like the patented part of things, but they said that they thought the stuff was pretty small generally.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not sure what they're looking for. If they want to add to it, that can always be done with unpatented claims. We don't hold a lot of unpatented claims because it's extremely expensive and it has no real upside to us.
That's right. Yeah, I agree. I understand where you're coming from there. It is possible to add to it for sure. And the patented stuff is, that's the stuff that has the real long-term value. I'm with you 100%.
We hold the primary minerals. I mean, what we do is we will get the patented, we anchor it with a patented claim. Then we'll pick up unpatented claims just to surround it and make sure we have all of the major mineral source covered.
Right, and I've been with the government, federal government especially, which you're going to have to deal with here in land management. And I know one thing: when it comes to a patented mining claim or unpatented mining claim, basically they look upon those as, not much we can do about it. And that's their attitude. It's patent.
Yeah,
that really gives you an advantage, because you put facilities on it and whatever, and you can block it off to the public.
Yep, I'm with you. I know I'm here trying to convince those guys too. I don't know. They've been around for a long time. They've looked at a lot of stuff, so I think they know what they like when they see it. But I don't know if they always know, quite what they're looking for at this time.
Right.
With a public company too, right? It's more about having something big that they can market, more than having the downside protection of a real estate play. That's not, that backup doesn't work very well in a public company, right? Because it's kind of all or nothing for them.
Well, it like I said, it works for us as a small company. We have limited resources. We don't depend on other people's money.
Yeah.
The fact that, as far as that for a big company, if they don't care about the real estate, we don't care either. It doesn't really matter. We're not pricing these things strictly by what the real estate is. We're pricing these by the fact that these have good mineral deposits, good worthwhile mineral deposits on them.
Well, one of the things that, small enough, we're down at what's called Troy Ranch. We're right there we connect to a Sarco's property, which is the Ray mine, and that's the second largest copper mine in the United States.
The big one.
And we're in there with Stan Keith. He worked directly under the vice president of Kennecott, which is Phelps Dodge. And Phelps, so really he goes back to those were originally, that was a Phelps Dodge project there.
Yeah.
Phelps Dodge still has a little control over Stan, but when you combine our workings and his, we have 5,000 acres in there.
That's a lot, yeah.
It is, and it's got really good paper, and we're sitting in there, and Sarco has a land exchange that's going to be going through that will put their patent land right up against our boundary.
Really?
And you can go to what's called the Ray East and sit there and watch their trucks mine. That's where our property is. I can walk down to their trailer right down there in 15 minutes.
I can't believe a Sarco still in the mix there. That's amazing.
Yeah, and see that's one of the best spots.
Yeah.
You can go on our project and you can look over there and see the head frame from the number 9 shaft, which is the Resolution mine.
Well, and that's, to me, that's the kind of thing that, in some way there's got to be a way for that to work in a public company, right?
I would think so.
That would be the good. That's the big one. That would be big enough for just about anybody.
Yeah. And I'm looking at it here in the PDF. So you guys have 350 acres of patented claims.
Right.
And then there's unpatented mining claims and a bunch and patented mineral rights as well. Okay.
Patented mineral rights.
Leases, that's a good one. And Stan Keith, he's got a master's degree. He's a good friend of Jim Marsh's and everything else. And
Stan was trying to push this project through with a company called Big Bar Gold. And so we had a company that was trying to talk to us about it, and they were trying to talk to Stan at the same time.
Yeah.
So we got together with Stan and said, we'll market this property together.
It's in a key spot. See, another mine that's going to be opening up because Freeport's drilled it is the Christmas mine. That's just south of us. Yeah. we're boxed in by, that's the holy land of the big copper porphyries.
Let me put it this way: if we don't own it, Phelps Dodge, or Sarco, or BHP, or Rio Tinto does.
They got it.
We are the only other large landholder here.
Right. And there's no room for anybody else to come in.
How and when was the last time it was worked? Like when, were these holes with a Sarco in the area? Right? Is it going back to the 60s or?
Well, no, the Big Bar drilled it. I think that goes back to, I'm guessing, 2010.
I think so. Yeah, I'd have to look. I think right around that period. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's been drilled
recently.
there and whatever. Yeah, and Stan Keith, we have the drill cores. We have those logged, and we have control of the drill cores and everything.
Yep, good. How many meters ballpark?
I think the last hole, the holes, I think he did, I'd say 10,000 feet of drilling.
Yep.
Peter, if you like, I can send you a thumb drive. I can mail you one. I just make a copy of the one we've got. It's got a lot of stuff that's Stan Keith did it, so it's got a certain amount right in the front of Magma Chem propaganda about his company. But it does follow with all the drill information from Big Bar Gold.
Stan Keith worked for Amex and all those others before he got involved, and that's how he picked up the Troy and became interested, because he was doing drilling and whatever for Amex, which was looking in that area, because that's always been an area where they've been thinking that there's another type ray deposit.
Yeah. Is this one joint ventured out? It seemed to me the guys in Vancouver were thinking that some of them were already optioned off.
No.
Okay.
No, we have nothing that's in that brochure that's auctioned off right now.
Okay.
No.
Okay. And all the work that was done at Troy, like, kind of on trend with stuff at Ray, or I guess I'll have to look at the report, see the maps and everything to get a sense for it. But were they having some joy in with the drilling there?
Well, Stan's optimistic on the property. I mean, basically, and once you talk to him, he's your best salesman. He's put, oh my gosh, I'd say 20 years in this thing, and he knows it better than anybody. And he's done all the geochemistry, the geophysics on it, the drilling, and he's not only worked with Freeport on this, he goes back to Amex and whatever. And he's the expert of that area. He's just fun to be with. He's an excellent geologist.
You can give him a call and ask him about the Troy, and and he would probably send you anything you want to, answer any question you've got and send you any kind of information. We can do it, but he can probably do it better than we can. Like I said, he's like John said, he's a great salesman on this.
See, that's one project. That's one project where when people want to know about the project, I refer them to Stan, because he's had so much, his years of experience on that property.
Yeah.
And for different companies and stuff, and he's selected this. This is the one he's holding. That would be the one. See, a lot of times it only takes one big project. A lot of companies, they like to get one big one, and I can't think of one in Arizona that right now that has the size, but it also has the potential, and it gets you on the ground floor where the big boys are.
Yeah. Well, and that's what these guys were they were talking about, was something big, right? They want something big for their public company, right?
Right.
Yeah, the investors like to see something big.
The nice thing about it is, see, we're east, and and when I was sitting there with a meeting with Asarco a few years ago, I met with their geologists in their office, and they had maps of our property sitting up on their desk when I went in there, and Neal was with me, and they deliberately, they know that the Ray ore body continues east of, there's the Rattler Fault, and that's where we are. So there's that Ray East, that it goes right under our patent property and continues there. And nobody said, there's no doubt about it's continuing over there. And Stan says it's in the diabase, so it's the same host rock and same geology as the Ray pit.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on Google Earth here, just north of Kearney and stuff.
Yep.
Oh Lord. Oh boy, if that doesn't get them excited, there's got that I don't know. It gets me excited looking at that area.
I mean, if they want, I'll take them in the hills and walk down there to their office down there, and we'll have coffee.
I know.
We can stand on our property and throw a rock into their pit.
Crazy. Yeah. And the ranch, what's the ranch? Is that like,
that's the Dripping Springs Ranch. we have basically most of the patent mineral rights underneath that. And see, one thing that we have, which is different than a lot of unpatented mining claims, we have 2,000 acres. When the Hagen was the pioneer ranching family, they owned the Dripping Springs Ranch and they owned most of the homesteads. They were smart. Thelma Hagen kept back the mineral rights and the right to prospect, mine, and develop the minerals.
Yeah, I see that. The patented mineral right as opposed to the patented land, right? That's nice.
Right. See, we have, those are better than, a nice thing about those, I love them, is you don't even have to pay taxes on those.
Oh, wow.
The surface owner does.
Oh, wow.
But we have free access to go in and prospect the minerals and mine them out.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, they were smart. They were a mining and ranching family. They knew that sooner or later there could be minerals found underneath their ranch, and they withheld them.
Yeah, I've seen the patented land. I haven't seen the patented mineral rights quite like that before, but that's, and have it on 2,000 acres too. Yeah, okay.
So that's like having 50 claims, 50 unpatented claims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's the one that jumped out at me when I was going through the deck too. You know, the geology must be interesting there with the Colorado Plateau and the Basin Range provinces. Oh
yeah,
super interesting.
Yeah, and the Globe area is well known. You know, you got the town of Miami and Globe right there. That's always been big mining, and it's a mining town too. And that's another good thing. You're in a geopolitical area they like mines.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you look at Ray and it's just huge. So no, I'm with you on that. Like I'm looking at a map of the Google Earth of Ray, and I see the pit, right? And I see kind of the mountain ridge.
You'll see Scott Mountain. Scott Mountain is to the east of there. We go to Scott Mountain and east of that.
Okay. And I see kind of some road, coming up to the peak. Is that, are you guys along that road or kind of
our patent claims go from Scott, we have a group of patent mining claims that go from Scott Mountain down towards the pit. Then our big holdings then go back east of there. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have thought it's mainly on the other side of the mountain.
Right. See, we have, and see, what on that meeting, I sat down and I said, we have you blocked. You can't go east without going underneath our paths. Why don't you buy them now? But you know what they said? Well, we'll buy them when we need them.
Yeah, well, that's big money. That's big mining company talk. That's the way they go.
Yeah, see, and that's exactly what it said, because that's owned by Mexico.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I got you. But they're engineer, that's the way the mining engineers are always there.
Oh, yeah. I'm just a guy who likes to get bargains, save every buck you can. Say, well, when we need it, we'll buy it.
And so I see Haley Spring and Looney Spring. Those guys are off. How are you guys kind of in between those two springs?
Well, most of those springs would probably be under our property, because the Hagens, the early ranchers, what they would do to control grazing would be to homestead the springs, the water, so they control the grazing. So most of those are Looney Springs and stuff. We probably have the patent mineral rights underneath all that.
It's right there. It's just on the other side of the mountain. So that's kind of why. Yeah.
Right. And Christmas is to the south. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they'll probably balk at it and say that it's expensive and all for a property acquisition.
Our properties, they have not only had the work done on them, they've had it proved out positive.
Yeah.
Now, how many, bad holes you can take a $50,000 property, put $1 million into it and come up empty. Yeah. Ours have had, a couple $1 million put into them, and they have not come up empty.
Yeah.
Right. And see, Stan Keith, I can guarantee you, when you talk to him, he'll convince you, because he's aware of a tremendous amount of work and has all the details on that work.
Well, and I'm not the one who needs convincing.
Well, let me point out too, Peter, we're always willing. Somebody wants to come out here, we'll take them out and we'll show them what we got, and we'll sit down.
Oh yeah.
And we will give them all of the data we have. Let's show them all the data we have. And believe me, it's extensive. What we sent out on this brochure is just
That's
a
just
basic
a tiny summary. Yeah, that's
basic
just a tiny
summary, you know.
Yeah.
But we've got, oh my gosh, we've got reams and reams of information on all these properties.
Well,
Right.
And like I said, it's not like you're talking about a $50,000 property in Quebec where you're going to have to go in and do all the exploration, all the drilling, and everything else.
Right.
You're not starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, you know, and not only is you're saving money, you're saving a lot of years of work.
Well, and that's and they need something that has some clear, short timeline potential.
Well, we've got actually two of them have a very short timeline. I would say the Pinafore and the Troy are the two where you could actually start something up almost immediately.
46 acres of patented land there in Baghdad, yeah.
And those can be added to. Again, we can then, if you wanted to add 300 or 400 acres, you can add 300 or 400 acres if you want.
I looked at that. We had somebody else was asking, well, that's awful small. And I did the research, and I said, you can add roughly 2,000 acres to this if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not patented land, but if you want to go out and stake all this land, you're welcome to do it.
Is it available?
Well, you know what? Yeah. You know, when I talk to the Canadian geologists, I always use the deal. Well, if you want moose pasture, we can stake it for you. You pay for it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
if you want the minerals, we've got that, and we've already got the control of that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, I love it from your guys' perspective of holding on to those patented claims, because those things are worth something, right? Let the claims lapse, the new stuff come and go, but don't lose. You don't want anyone to lose hold of these things.
Well, exactly. The other thing too is it's kind of a critical situation. In our time, Neal and I are getting up in age, and we'll probably hang around trying to get these mines going for another year. But then, for whatever, these things are going to be recreational and cabin sites and ranch lands.
That's the problem. I hear you, and they won't come back from that. That's that development.
No, they're gone. They're gone. Once that happens to them, they're finished for mining.
Yeah, I know. What about Pinafore, Neal?
Well, the Pinafore has had extensive work done on it. Just the little brief thing there it shows we got about 46 acres, I believe it is.
Yeah. That
we control there. That had extensive drilling on it, and we actually went to Placer Dome, I believe it was, years and years ago after we acquired it.
Yeah.
And said we'd like to know if we could look at some of the results you had. And after sitting in there trying to copy it out.
Yeah, Neal.
Yeah,
Neal, that was home stake. And remember, if you want to get in good with the Canadians, that was Dr. Stan Holmes's property. Stan Holmes was well known in Canada as one of the VMX experts.
Yeah.
So and most geologists that's been around for any land would know Stan Holmes. Yeah. That was his project, and he kept it, and he was optimistic about it. He was the one that supervised the whole project.
That's another one. We have all the results that Homestake had from the drilling and exploration project. They gave us everything they had.
Wow.
Yeah, including a recon of the whole Baghdad district. Now, remember, north of us, about 7 miles, is Freeport McMullen's Baghdad pit.
Yeah.
So it's another. You're back into that area where if you want to hunt elephants, you go where elephants are.
Well, and I know because Tim, right? I've been talking to Tim a bunch about Kaaba, and that's north of Baghdad.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, Tim's a good person to talk to if you want to know about some of our projects. He has been on most of them for quite a bit.
Yeah.
We've had a long relationship with Tim, and he's done reports on these projects for us, so he's very familiar with them.
Yeah.
If they want to talk to somebody who's independent of us about whether they're good projects or not, he's the person to talk to.
And where is Pinafore? You said it's north of, or it's south of Baghdad.
South of Baghdad. South by 7 miles.
Oh wow! So not far, eh?
Oh no. It's in that. It's a pretty good VMS deposit.
Is it up along a highway, or is it kind of more in the mountains there?
It's funny. It's off It's off the old Kidman Highway, which is a county road by about less than a half a mile.
Yeah.
It's a dirt road.
Yeah, I know some of these old roads around there. It's amazing.
But see, the reason we picked up that other property is there's a private ranch around us, but Lot 6 is the one we picked up. That gives us access across that ranch so we can connect to the county road, because in the past there was an outfit that was going to take that mine, but they couldn't deal with that rancher. When we checked, he didn't even have the mineral rights. The Skousen family reserved them, and they reserved the right to go in there and remove minerals and put buildings on it for mining purposes.
Yeah,
we tracked down every one of those errors. I mean, we tracked them down to New York, California, all over the country till we got quit claims from every one of them on the mineral rights.
Right.
Really?
And that's when they did that. They did a report on it saying, yeah, you could go in there and mine upwards 500 tons a day on that thing just with what they had drilled out.
Yeah.
But every one of these projects, I know they think they're small, but like I said, what we do is we control the minerals, and we control the center of it.
Yeah, it is.
And if you want excess land, it's available on all of them.
Yeah.
You just got to go out and stake it, and in most cases, it's readily available.
Yeah.
And geologically speaking, it's one thing to have the center from a permitting perspective with the patented claims, but from the geology of Pinafore and Troy, there's been something delineated at Pinafore, but any sense of what is there extending off into adjacent, the land nearby, or what the sense of that?
Well, the DMS, when they did the DMS drilling, they determined that the Pinafore is on one of three lenses. So only the one lens has been developed, but basically within that 46 acres that we have, all the drilling was confined to within that 46 acres.
Yeah, of
so
course.
There was no,
Wow,
but again, we can enlarge to the south, we can enlarge to the east. Yeah, so we can enlarge around there. Now, which was interesting is Stan spent a lot of money, and he did a recon. I have it mapped. It's a 6-page map. He did a recon of the whole district, showing anomalies where there might be other VMS deposits towards the Baghdad pit.
Yeah.
So that's available. We have boxes of that, plus the drill results.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, Peter, I think it's kind of funny. They're worried because the land's valuable for real estate, and they're worried because, we haven't got thousands of acres of worthless land surrounding us. To me, it doesn't make any sense. The way we've operated for 30 years is absolutely nothing like that. We don't worry about, large holdings. We worry about going where the minerals are and controlling those.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, though. Let me tell you this from a geologist's point of view. People talk about, you ever hear of the Comstock mine?
Yeah.
Yep, okay. It's 4-mile trend. Up that 4-mile trend, the ore chutes encompassed 1,800 feet, which could almost be put on one 20-acre mining claim.
Yeah.
All the rest are what I call them space claims.
Yeah.
They claim space.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about this is when you go in there and you fillet an area out, you keep people from coming in a lot of times because you have the minerals that show on the surface, the alteration and everything else staked.
Yes.
So it basically then you can come in and bring in the survey crew and just box it in if you want.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And that makes your package look good. But to get started, these are start projects.
That's right. Yep. Yeah. Well, and that's what I mean when I say I don't know if they know what they're looking for either, right?
Well, I'll tell them another advantage to having patented land. You can build anything you want on top of it since you own the land.
Right.
And even if we didn't, heck, we've got 60 acres sitting next to the city of or the town of Kearney, which is right across from the school, where they can put any kind of buildings they want to. So.
Right. Yeah, it's right by the smelter at Hayden and everything else.
Yeah.
But
but that would be good. That would be good to combine with the Troy project, because then you have an area where you could put major facilities and store stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have still 350 some acres of deeded land on the Troy.
Yeah.
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 And you say, well, $1 million, but remember in Globe, the land goes for, it depends on the price of land, and this is from people that are in real estate in Globe, $2,000 to $5,000 an acre.
Yep.
So even if that land is, we're saying $1 million, that 350, they're getting it for what the land would go for. So if they don't take it in minerals, unfortunately, it's going to, at that price, it'll go for the land.
Yeah, that's right. No, it will. Well, I hear you. No, it's, yeah.
But any of these that are interested in, we're willing to talk with them. We're willing to give them more information on it, and we're willing to negotiate and talk about it.
I like Pinafore and Troy too, though. Pinafore and Troy, those two, being close to the other, those large mines. There's
right.
And
that's a good point.
Investors like sure things. And when you're looking at something in close proximity to these things that have already been developed and been operating for years and years, you're talking pretty darn close to sure things.
Well, and they both have technical, Pinafore has a 43101 on it and stuff too, right? So, at least
that was done for that. That was done for that company. That company wanted to buy it, put it into production, but it was that rancher that we had to deal with that they couldn't get a deal on. So they took off. So this is a great deal to have somebody come in, because we got that report done, and then Tim March did a VTEM study on that thing.
Yeah. Is the rancher still in the mix there?
No, he's
the ranchers. We get along with him fine, because he understands. He can't.
The one that's there now. Yeah.
I mean, he might have sold out, but it makes no difference who's there. They can't stop you from even start. You can put your mine warehouse on that thought if you want.
Yeah. Well, so those two, and the potential that you're saying to expand around Pinafore,
right?
That's got to be, but there's some size to Troy itself, and there's something to Pinafore now with the patented claim, and then the potential to expand around that. That's right. That's got to be something that I can take to them. And
another thing you might want to take, that claim was discovered by John Lawler. The Lawler family I knew well, and that's where we got the mine from, his heirs. But John Lawler was the one that discovered the Copper Creek claims, which are the Baghdad pit claims. This guy was good.
And is there anybody else at Pinafore there with you guys, or is it just you?
Just us.
It's just us. Everything in that brochure is just us, except for the Troy, which Stan Keith has the extra 1,000 acres there.
Mm-hmm. And those were originally Freeport's. He was in there with Freeport. So basically, Freeport likes that area. Always has.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Do you guys have those reports on Pinafore and Troy?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we've got, like I said, we've got everything that Homestake did as far as their work on the Pinafore, and the Troy. We've got everything that Big Bar Gold did.
Yeah.
So we have all the syndicate reports on the Troy. I mean on Baghdad, and all the reports that we have it's thousands of pages on Troy. Troy's got tremendous. I mean,
well, just the 2006, the technical report from 2006 there by Russell on Troy, and then the 43101 on Pinafore. If you send those over, yeah.
Okay, that's no problem. We'll get those for you.
Yeah.
But you can tell the guys too. If they want a $50,000 starter project, we got some of those. I'd be glad to sell them too.
Oh God, yeah.
But see, even the Pinafores had $1 million in drilling already.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like they're in the Troy. The amount of drilling that's been on what is composed of the Troy project is several $1 million too.
Quite frankly, the prices we're talking about, they're bargains both in time and money. Whatever they want, gold, silver, copper, lead, zinc, whatever they want, any stage, we can provide it probably.
Yeah.
Well, you got good thing about the Pinafore is you got good copper and zinc, and plus gold and silver byproduct values.
Were there others too that were?
Well, let me thumb through and see what we got here. I can give you the rundown on everything here.
Well, are they looking for hard rock, or are they looking for the open pit type projects?
Yeah, I think they're open to either.
Well, see, a lot of our properties have had some initial drilling, but they need some deeper drilling to that. We have several of those that have initial drilling, and some that are recommended for some deeper drilling. I don't know if they want the Cumberland, because Cumberland has a master's thesis where there was 28,000 feet of diamond drilling. And that was by Standard Oil, I believe. But there was and they did quite a bit. But they're recommending that they're deeper drilling. But that's one of those areas there where a lot of this stuff in Arizona, the real estate prices are outpacing the mineral value.
Oh yeah.
And that's so I don't think, if they don't want to get involved in big price, the Cumberland will be out.
Yeah, Virgin Lady is, that's right in the middle of BHP.
Yeah, Virgin Lady is good, but
really?
Unfortunately, it's not the porphyry deposits. It's a 20-foot wide vein similar to the magma vein. It's one of those large veins that radiates off a porphyry deposit.
Yeah.
But the good thing about that is the magma mine was a vein deposit, but it produced 26 million tons of rich ore. So actually, the rich ore amounted to probably more than some of these porphyry deposits. But that's the one that radiated off the Resolution, and that's the one that Tim says. Well, he compares that because Tim had a lot to do with that Resolution project, and he's referring to the fact that the Virgin Lady, that area there, has some of the indications that it's another one of those big structures that are radiating off of porphyry, and that porphyry's in Section 15, which, see, again, Section 15, we can get access and acquire that, but I'm not acquiring it until somebody decides that they're going to be interested in looking at the whole project, because it requires silver nickel to invest some money.
And so what is, you said Virgin Lady, it's in between, is it in the middle of the Resolution properties, you're saying?
No, what it is it's similar. Tim Marsh is comparing it to the magma vein, which radiates from the Resolution porphyry deposit. These big porphyry deposits, and just to the south of us, he's saying that the Virgin Lady indicates there's a porphyry there, but it's also the Virgin Lady itself has a 20-foot wide, rich gold, silver, copper, lead, and zinc vein.
Wow. So,
and the magma vein wasn't exactly to sneeze at. It produced 26 million of almost 5%, 26 million of almost 5% copper. That's not to sneeze at, plus high gold and silver values.
Is the Virgin Lady like right tucked? It says that it's being drilled, currently explored. What does that mean?
Well, what basically it means we have the potential to acquire additional properties. It's been examined and whatever, and if somebody is interested, we'll be interested in working with them, not only getting the ground around the Virgin Lady tied up, which we have most of it, but we would tie up where Tim Marsh. See, Tim, we examined we examined water well cuttings. A lot of people put water wells down, and we examined water well cuttings and Stim examined the alteration, whatever. And in section 15, and Stan Keith there is there's a big porphyry there. We pretty much know where it is. It just needs a drill hole.
So where's the Virgin Lady in relation to the city and all that?
3 miles north of Globe.
Just north of Globe.
3 miles.
Up by Copper Hill there?
Yeah, up.
Mm-hmm.
You know where the city services, the Sleeping Beauty mine at City Services pit is? We're a mile from the pit.
Not the Freeport McMoran mine.
The City Services one to the north. You'll see a road. It's the road going to Roosevelt Lake that goes north from Globe. There's a highway.
Yep.
And you'll see those hills up there. We're east of the highway by a half a mile.
Yep. Not far.
No, it's not. It's fairly easy to get to.
Yeah. See, that's another one that's got big chances for a porphyry.
Well, on the other side of the hill from that big what do they call this, the mine that Freeport's running there?
Yeah, there's one at Freeport. There's got one at Miami. Then there's the big City Services pit. You'll see a big pit there.
Yeah. That's, you're calling the City Services? That's what they call it?
That's City Services. Yeah, that's City Services, called the City Services mine. So when you're standing at the Virgin Lady, you're looking right at the mine.
Yeah. Up by.
See, that's what we do is we go in there and we hunt these places. We go in and look for elephants where the other elephants have been found, and we follow we follow the alteration and we follow the fracture zones, and our mapping and everything else indicates where these suckers are. And
it's Rescue Canyon. Is it up there?
No, Rescue Canyon would be to the that's to the east of us by I'd say a quarter mile at least.
Oh, really?
We're closer to the highway.
Okay. So Silver Hill Road?
Silver Hill Road, we're north of there.
Yeah.
There's a small town called Radium. We're south of that.
It might not show.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
That's another one that can be acquired, and if you get the Troy, if you wanted to get into a land position in Globe, one of the hot spots, those two areas, and there's to the north of us is Bronco. They're exploring to the north of us, and everything to the south, like Neal was indicating, is BHP.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if these guys, are cautious about looking at stuff nearby a city and nearby the parks and everything too, right?
Well, the park, down by the park, you're down towards the Old Dominion. That's the Old Dominion mine down there by the park. We're north of there.
But the Tonto National Forest or whatever is right there too, isn't it?
Right. In fact, we go to the border with that national forest.
Yeah.
If we did any more adding to it, we would go down towards the south and more towards the highway to the section 15, which is where, we've looked at that. We think that's a major area, but like John said, we're not going to acquire it on our own.
No, that's right.
If somebody wants it, we'll go get it for them.
Yeah.
But we hold the major stuff. Although I think that getting down to some of these other areas, you could hit some major copper areas.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's crazy to look at in amongst the city right there too with that mine. I wonder if that gives these guys some questions too about whether it's good to have land tucked away right next to the city and all. But it's.
Well, with Globe, it wouldn't make a difference.
That's what I know. I'm going to try and communicate that to these guys. I'm sure they know that, but it's always good to be reminded.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What's and what do you say that you would expand it to the south if you could, or go acquire some stuff?
We would expand it. Yeah, we would expand. See, Tim
staking?
Mart, we've already had Tim on the ground.
You get that from somebody, or would you stake it?
Yeah. See, nice thing about that, Section 15 is there's drill hole cuttings that we've analyzed, and all the fracturing and the veining structures breaking off off of that porphyry right there. I mean, it's classical porphyry alteration, and we have the water well by the cuttings. Tim wrote a nice report on it, and we held that. When things go down, that's one thing we'll do. I'm not going to sit on these paper claims forever.
That's right. But so is that available right now to be staked?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We already surveyed it. I already surveyed that section. All you have to do is go in there and put the papers on it.
That
Put the money
particular
on it and the papers. Yeah.
Yeah, we've done all the background work on it before, and I have all the paperwork on it, so it'd be an easy matter for us to go back and pick it up again.
Well, send me. Is there any reports or any drill
I can give you the report. I can give you a report on Section 15 by Tim.
Yeah.
And one thing about it, you can talk to Stan Teeth. Stan Teeth was another one when we told him about that. He says, I always knew that sucker was there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so then maybe make it the Virgin Lady too. If you send me info on Pinafore and Troy and Virgin Lady for a 3.
Yeah. See,
sure,
that's
I can
getting
do that.
you into. Yeah. See, that's nice because those big boys, if they're going to put money in it, they're putting money where the major mining companies are.
Yeah. No, it makes it real marketable, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, running with the big dogs always works out well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, of all the claims that we got, that's the only one that is close to any kind of rural population. See, all our properties. See, all that's one thing I will not get us involved in a property that the political climate is such that the community uproar would be such that you'd never be able to get the damn thing permitted. So I won't even go in and look. It's just, I know which places you can go and which places are favorable, which places have water, and which places you're wasting your time on. I don't care what's in there. If you can't develop it, it's no good for us.
That's right.
I think I mentioned to you before, too, Peter, we don't play with other people's money.
Yeah, that's right.
We've invested this ourselves, and that being the case, we're pretty cautious of what we hold.
Yes.
And where we put it. I mean, we don't waste our money, let me put it that way.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and the old adage is, out of 1,000 prospects, you're lucky to get one that has potential.
I know.
So these are the ones that are left from being eliminated.
Yeah. Well, and I've been watching Tim and talking to him about Kaba and the horror of him, the decades spent trying to get through that thing. Right? It's just been amazing.
Yeah, he's put a lot of his life in that property.
He really has, yeah.
Yes.
Whatever, and so it can be a lot of heartburn.
But the stuff there, those 3, I they may be small, but the potential for expansion right around the area there, and to be in the neighborhood with the big mines too. I don't know. It's got those ones perked my ears up at least.
I would say those are the ones there. Yeah, those are the ones sounds like that you would be the best for you to handle.
Well, and they're the only 3 that we really even talked about. I'm sure if we kept going and talked about all the other ones, we'd keep finding other stuff to be excited about too. I think, as you say,
some of that, like I said, in some of that report, if you wanted, like the stuff up in the Bradshaw Mountains is some of that stuff. I mean, these systems are we've had major fires there, and I would go out after there was a major fire, and I'd find out that there's the historical vein, but there's also 3-4 veins that now have been exposed because the flash flooding and the tremendous amount of erosion that took place after these wildfires, and so these systems are darn good. And like, for example, just the Great Eagle. I mean, Mason Coggin, he was worked with Homestake. He was the Department of Mines director. He was saying, based in the 1980s, when he went in there and analyzed that project, that was $300 million, and he didn't even have half the project that I put together and added to it.
Yeah. Which was that?
You know, see, those are gold and silver properties, but they're big veins.
That's the ones the Tiger, I think we have it listed in the brochure.
Yeah, the Tiger and the Savoy and whatever. Those are big veins.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, size-wise, they're size of the Comstock.
Yeah. Well, I hear you about the fires.
Yeah, well, I have friends that do a lot of exploration work. He says if they were in Mexico, they would have been mined out by now.
Yes. Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Somebody wants some gold silver veins, with good lead and zinc values and different. There's little summaries of those in the report. But what's interesting is we're not asking people to sink money in reopening old mine shafts and stuff like that. That's a black hole for most companies. What we're getting them in is to prospect newly discovered veins that are part of a historical mine property, and they're just as good original than the one they mine.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Okay.
And do you know of anything else or got any questions? Give us a call. We're right here. You've got my number. You've got John's number.
Yep.
Yeah, and if they need to go into the field, that's not a problem. I'll take them out there and show them everything that they need to. Okay. Thanks for your time, Peter. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Absolutely. Bye, Peter.